What's going on, my guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Garrett with Game by the Beach. Very excited to be here with you today because we're going to be jumping into my top 5 picks of what I'm excited about for new released mobile games. So that's Android and iOS users and games that are either in a soft launch or being currently developed or currently released in some areas, but not necessarily US, coming to us rather soon or in 2024. So just before we jump into my top 5 picks, I just want to go over a couple of things. These games are my choices, right? So it's not necessarily the top picks for everybody, and I tried to alleviate those selections of games that were on different devices that were brought to the mobile space. So games like Assassin's Creed, Grand Theft Auto, things like that, I'm not necessarily choosing because I'd rather choose selections that were either already mobile games or specifically made for mobile games. So without further ado, let's hop on over, guys. Grab your coffee, grab your device, and let's head on down to Game by the Beach. The first game we're going to be talking about is Plants vs. Zombies 3. So this game here has been in the works for a number of years, okay? I believe at least 3. I think it started in 2020. As you know, there's Plants vs. Zombies 1. I was super into that game. I loved playing it. It was all about the classic mode of Plants vs. Zombies, okay? Now they went into Plants vs. Zombies 2. Kind of got mixed reviews, and they started making Plants vs. Zombies 3. Let's watch the trailer here, and then we can talk about it, okay? So they're back for brains. Back in, you can see right away that it's a lot more of a three-dimensional feel, so the animation's a little bit different. Grow your squad, right? You've got new characters that you can utilize, as well as improving your own base, which is something that's totally new as well. Crushing zombies. It's still got that same vibe, charm of the old one. Plants vs. Zombies. Here they are. And a couple of things that we got to talk about with Plants vs. Zombies, okay? First and foremost, one of the main reasons that people were really excited about it is because it wasn't only that classic story mode that they were enticing us with, which we all love. We all know the strategy behind it. Defend your base, defend the tower. I'm all in on defending towers. And going up against, you know, these quirky zombies and whatever. But they also said that there's going to be a PvP aspect. So there's a way to connect with friends. You can kind of distribute loot and work towards specific prizes and some sort of a competitive aspect that you were going to go into with your zombies and with Plant vs. Zombies 3. However, the bad news, I don't know, mixed news. This game has gotten scrapped. So it was canceled. It went from alpha to beta mode, right? Which is the first kind of like the first instance of a game, soft launch, right? The beta was another, the next version of the soft launch. It then got taken down from the Google Play Store, Apple Store, and has since very recently been released again to specific regions in the world. So there's still hope for Plants vs. Zombies 3 on coming out. I think it would be super, super fun. Get that nostalgia back, but with an improved mechanic and improved storytelling. I think that is absolutely what we're looking for. So fingers crossed that we get a little bit more information going forward with Plants vs. Zombies, and hopefully it does actually get released sometime in the future. But let's jump into game selection number 2, and let's talk about it. Our second selection for today is called Little Nightmares 3. So let's just start with, okay, there was a first one, there was a second one, now we're into a third one. And this is a second one on our list that is a sequel, right? So I never played Little Nightmares 1 or 2, but when I was researching what were the upcoming games that people were really excited about, Little Nightmares 3 was at the top of the list. And after seeing the trailer, I can see why. Okay, the graphics are really good. It's a very simple premise. Okay, if you guys have played the first one or the second one, it follows that same premise of a little girl who's alone. you're Little Nightmares because you're mini and you're basically navigating through this world where there's jump scares and little things, and you got to navigate your way to either get out of a house or get to the next part or whatever. Let's watch the trailer together. Everyone grab your blankie and and let's enjoy it because it is pretty cool. Okay, so let's jump right in. Okay, Little Nightmares 3, release 2024, release date 2024. Okay. Deep below the waves, you may find a little girl in a rain jacket. So as you can see, she's a little tiny one, but look at the graphics already, fellas. This is a mobile game? Wild. I'm bummed that I'm not going to be able to use any of my tropical music in any of this. So as you can see, right, she's like pulling levers, moving things, escaping, and she's trying to not be found, of course. She doesn't want to be seen. Little Nightmares, okay? Coming to mobile this winter. So it's actually saying this winter, which is really, really cool to see. So maybe end of 2023 rather than actually in 2024. And again, not necessarily something that I would typically choose, but it looks really, really cool. And you know what? It could be one of those games that is fun to play either on stream or with your friends or something like that. There's no PvP aspect or anything, but it's just a really well-polished game, or at least that's what it looks like, and that's what I'm really excited about, and that's why it comes in number 2 on our list. But let's keep on going. Let's check out number 3. This one I really think you guys are gonna like. Third on our list here is a game called Total War Battles Warhammer. Okay, and this is a game, again, based off another. It's the Warhammer fantasy series. Again, something I never really played. But it's a lot more about when I'm researching and reading up on these games and watching these trailers, what I would be most interested in, not necessarily what I have previously been interested in. And this game, it's a strategy. It's a strategy game, which is perfectly aligned with what I like to do. I like to have a little bit of a thought behind it, coupled with some animation that I really enjoy. Let's watch the trailer. Let's go through it, and then we'll kind of talk about this game because it may or may not have been pulled since, but let's watch it through and talk. We'll talk about it. We'll get into it. Here we go. NetEase Games, which has its own stigma. Okay, so it's an army. Build your army. It says at the top, not representative of the final quality. I've played a bunch of games like this that I've absolutely loved. Total War Battles Warhammer. It's a great name. Okay, you've got your map. You're trying to conquer the world. You're trying to build up your base, your resources. We all know it's kind of like a Clash of Clans vibe, but then you can take your armies elsewhere and conquer different lands, have the Warhammer world in the palm of your hand. You have your own heroes as well. Real-time strategy, that's ultimately what I'm looking for. I'm ultimately looking for a real-time strategy game, and that next game that I can really play for hours on end. Alongside legendary heroes. These guys look sick. They look really, really cool. I'm sure they all have different abilities, stats, strengths. Command your vast armies, right? Again, mobile, Android and iOS platform users. All right, so Total War Battles Warhammer. Okay, as you guys can see, it looks pretty sick, and it didn't show a whole lot of actual gameplay necessarily. I think most of this was animations for the game rather than of the game. If you guys see how that differentiates between the two. But yeah, Warhammer, Total War Battles Warhammer, which is kind of a mouthful. It might have been canceled. I'm going to be honest. It might have been canceled. I've been reading up on it, and it sounds like they were having a real hard time pushing it at the release date. Again, it was one of those that was in the alpha and then the beta. It released the beta in a couple different countries. Didn't necessarily get the traction that it wanted, which is really, really unfortunate. So as of 2024, it's marked as uncertain. What do they put it at? They put it at like sunset or something like that. So this game may have been canceled as of now, but that doesn't mean that they might not pick it back up. Okay, and I think this is a really cool looking game. And I think it has a bunch of different pieces to it as well, because there's tons of games out there, Rise of Empires, Rome, whatever the heck it's called, where you're kind of building your army, you choose your army, you build your lands, you do this, you do that. It's all about finding that one where everybody kind of agrees that it's the best and everybody plays it. Because there's, I said because like 4 times. Since there's like, let's say 50 different versions of those games, it's a lot more of a saturated, user base. Okay, so which makes it more difficult to have that one game that everybody kind of agrees upon and plays and really pump up that game. So I was hoping that this one would be that game and would kind of take that space. We're gonna have to see the developments in the coming years. I was supposed to change this scene for that whole spiel. Maybe I'll zoom in on myself here. I don't really know, but that's what game number 3. Game number 3, and let me just tell you right now, the last 2 games, I'm not really putting these in any order necessarily, like top number 1 choice to number 1. But I'll say right now, if I haven't said it already, number 4, I'm very, very excited about. It's not necessarily my typical go-to game, but I'm very excited about it. And number 5, I might be most excited about. And that one actually might be the one that is released the soonest, number 5. So without further ado, let's get into number 4 before we get into number 5. Next on our list is Rainbow Six Siege. Okay, if you guys haven't heard about this game, I'm actually kind of surprised, right? Because this is one of the most anticipated games of 2023, 2024, right? It's supposed to be released, and it's actually had a soft launch already in September, but just not yet to USA, right? To the States. So it's supposed to be released by the end of September, I would guess, for iOS users, Android users in the States. It would be in October. But this is a shooting game. It's a 5v5 shooting game. Huge on the responsiveness and the tactfulness, strategy. All that stuff is really, really cool. It might be a little bit too much for a mobile game, in my humble opinion, just because I might feel the need to get a controller, and then it's not so much a mobile game anymore. If I have a controller, why am I even playing a mobile game? But let's jump into it. Let's watch the trailer, and then we'll talk about it a little bit, because it is really, really cool. Okay. And this is the alpha. So again, this is alpha and beta. Not a ton of actual gameplay, but you'll be able to get, yeah, this is gameplay. I don't know about the music, but they might even mute this. That'd be a problem. So you can see right here, and I try to avoid games similar to this, okay? Let's just say this. This game may or may not be one of the best games coming out, let's say in 2024, even if it's a little bit before, okay? But with it being the best game that comes out, shooting games I typically try to avoid on mobile because it's just so difficult. We talked a little bit about it with like the controller versus this. There's going to be so much going on in this game that it's going to be really difficult for the game to not lag, the game to feel polished, for your phone to not overheat. If they can get rid of all of those things, this game could be really, really sick. But that's a big if. Attackers versus defenders. There's probably going to be different modes. You can do the lean with it. Now it looks like I'm dancing. Unique operator skills. I mean, you guys tell me what this game feels like the most to you. Again, I haven't played, I never really got into Fortnite. Back in the day, I'd play like, Call of Duty Black Ops or Black Ops 2 or whatever the heck was out there. I can't. It's not on mobile. I didn't play that on mobile. I did actually play Fortnite for a little while on mobile. Yeah, Tom Clancy too, huh? What else is on here? Sign up now to get a chance to play before the release. There you go. What else is on here? Anything? Yeah, that looks like about everything. Whew, right? So, I mean, this would be a game that's definitely a little bit different than what I typically choose. I've said that a couple of times already. The game that I want the most is real-time strategy games. Typically, that doesn't go with armies. Typically, that doesn't go with nightmares. Typically, that doesn't go with shooting games. But if it's the best game out there, if it's the best game offered, I'm going to respect it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to be excited about it. And I hope you guys are too. So that's why it falls fourth on our list. Whether that's the top or the bottom, you guys can decide there. Very, very cool. Rainbow Six Siege. Okay, so now we're into the final game on our list. Let's jump into it. The final game on our list is Warcraft Arclight Rumble. It's a mouthful. They actually have changed it since to take out Arclight, so now it's only called Warcraft Rumble, which I think is really cool. But as soon as you see how it works and the graphics and all of the pieces that go into this game, you're going to see why I'm most excited about this game. I'm really, really excited about what it's going to look like and how it's going to play. And it's most similar, let's just say this, it's most similar to the play style of Rush Royale. Not Rush Royale. Well, similar to Rush Royale. Clash Royale. Most similar to Clash Royale, which is kind of what I'm looking for, but it also has not only a PvP aspect and also a story mode aspect. So you can potentially play in a story mode, PvE, and boost yourself to be better in PvP. But that's enough talking while you guys watch a black screen. Let's jump right into it. Blizzard. Okay, there's a ton of information out there if you guys want to research this game about what people are thinking. Okay, and it's of course based on the world of Warcraft. I didn't even plan on saying the world of Warcraft. I just meant Warcraft, but it's that world, right? But it's mini, right? Look at them building it, guys. I mean, as soon as you see that face, you're like, I'm in. I'm in. I absolutely love the way this looks. And again, it's not going to be a ton of actual gameplay. It's recorded footage, animated footage of what the game will look like, but I think you get a pretty good idea of how it works. I like that the people are playing, watching it, like, it's its own little world. Again, I would recommend that you guys research it because there's so much to tell, and this is only a trailer showing off the animations. Very, very cool. Warcraft Arclight Rumble. So this was actually the one before pre-register, which I actually already pre-registered. And this is the one that came out before they even chose to change the name. Okay, so go check it out. Okay, you can go into the iOS store right now, and if you click download, it will pre-register you, and you can even select saying for it to alert you. It's going to download it automatically, and then it will also alert you when it's available. But yeah, strategy game set in the Warcraft universe in Warcraft Arclight Rumble, just Warcraft Rumble now. Our task is to defeat the boss and prevent destruction of our base. To get this, you have units called minis, which fight independently, gather resources, and take over objects. And there's a bunch of different stuff that you can read about. I absolutely love it, fellas. Really, really cool. If you enjoyed my description of these games and my list and videos similar to this, let me know in the comments, okay? This is one of the newer videos that I've done that are similar to this, right? I usually play Rush Royale, play games, I play this, play that. But I would love to do different lists and especially try and stay in that space of the mobile gaming, different things like that. Maybe I can do a list specific to strategy, nightmare, action, RPG, whatever you guys want to see. But that is going to be the end of this YouTube video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Write in the comments if you're new here, and I'll check you guys out in tomorrow's video.